Hello, hello. Happy Gregorian 2026. I hope everyone has been resting and enjoying some peaceful time this holiday. I know the effort to balance all of the energies can be overwhelming, being pulled to gather and keep up traditions while also respecting your energetic levels and your boundaries. So it is a holiday season unlike any other, for sure. It's been pouring down rain here in California, so coming into the new year with the atmospheric river, but rather than dwelling in the disappointment of not being able to see the sun, I've been consciously blessing the water, the rain that's been coming down, with gratitude and knowing that this water is coming from source. It is a source of universal wisdom, healing, and nourishment. So just going out in the rain and not letting the weather, no pun intended, dampen my spirits, and just being appreciative of the elements, whether it is natural or manufactured. But yeah, there's a couple things about the upcoming full moon in Cancer that I wanted to mention, and it is a water sign, as the cardinal water sign. So the moon is in Cancer at 13. It will be at 13 degrees and 1 minute, with the sun in Capricorn at the same degree of 13 degrees and 1 minute. And this is a super cardinal full moon, so both Capricorn and Cancer are cardinal signs. Also Aries and Libra. And Aries involves Chiron, which actually just went direct today on the 2nd. So it is Venus day, and it's actually a Venus hour at the moment. So Chiron is in Aries, another cardinal sign, which just went direct. So Chiron has everything to do with our wounds, our insecurities, and vulnerabilities. And with Chiron going direct now, and also in conversation or an aspect with the planets in Cancer, which is Jupiter, which is retrograde, as well as the moon, and also huge conversation with the planets in Capricorn. The sun is in Capricorn. Mars, which is exalted in Capricorn, is at 14 degrees. Venus is at 12 degrees Capricorn, and Mercury is at 2 degrees Capricorn. Juno, which is the asteroid of partnership and collaboration and considered to be the asteroid of marriage, is also in Capricorn. And so these planets in Capricorn are also out of bounds. So out of bounds energies is like, a dog off leash, where there's more of an impulse to break the rules and be a lot more eccentric than normal, as if it were traveling within the bounds of the ecliptic plane. So these out of bound planets opposing the moon in Cancer, which is also out of bounds, in a wide conjunction to Jupiter. Jupiter is also exalted in Cancer. So we can count on and be grateful for the blessings that Jupiter is bestowing in the sign of Cancer. And even though the pressure of Jupiter in Cancer and Chiron in Aries, which is forming a square, it can feel overwhelming. But Jupiter in Cancer is a very nurturing and caring energy, and intuitively talented, where Cancer energies can pick up on the small nuances of people's emotions and the situations that present themselves. And with Cancer also being a cardinal sign, they're able to initiate the type of emotion that is needed at that moment. With Chiron and Aries now direct, vulnerabilities can be revealed. We can express our vulnerabilities without feeling shame or insecurity. And Jupiter in Cancer is there to care and hold for the tender moments. And a lot of healing can be had with this kind of energy. And then Libra, there's no planets in Libra at the moment. So if you are Libra, or if you have Libra placements, then this is going to be a huge cardinal square, which is an invitation to break out of those limiting situations, relationships, belief systems that have kept us stagnant. This is really a liberation of our soul. Like, once again, the astrology, the choreography of all these planets when they are making these 90-degree tense aspects to one another is the invitation to break out of something. Diamonds are created from pressure, and so this pressure is intended for us to create something new, something untraditional, something that goes against tradition. And we have the grace to do that now. We have so much permission and support from the universe, the way these planets are coming together, especially over the next year, to create something new. And considering all the losses that we've experienced in 2025, whether it was the loss of family or the loss of property from the floods, from natural disasters, the loss of a job, the loss of some sort of identification, like identity that we were attached to. Considering all of those losses, we are at this point that's culminating now to really accept the finality of these endings. And it can be not just a closing of an old chapter, but really accepting the ending of these situations, the ending of these identities, to make room for something bigger, newer, better, something more absurdly delicious than we had even imagined. It's just like when trees lose their leaves and they are awaiting the next season to grow new, fresh green leaves. This is that kind of acceptance that we can move through. So I know it's easier said than done, but these are supported energies that we have to take advantage of. And with the moon also conjunct Sirius, which is considered to be our spiritual sun, and it's the Egyptian exalted star. It's considered to be the dog star. And that's where we get the term big dog, because it's considered to be the most like boss kind of energy, currently at 14 degrees and 27 minutes. And so this is also conjunct the USA sun, which is in a square to their Saturn in Libra. So this is going to be a huge new breakthrough for America. And this is long overdue, but at the same time, it's divinely timed with everything that is being orchestrated and choreographed in this brilliant kind of dance with all of the energies playing out. So I consider this to be a catharsis-induced strategy to plan for the future, because all of these energies in Capricorn are really asking us to build something, like build a legacy, reputation, something tangible that we are in true spiritual alignment with. And it's a balance between really taking our energies into consideration and not buying into that belief that rest is unproductive. And the Cancer energies, Jupiter and the moon, are making these trines to the Pisces energies. The North Node is at 10 degrees Pisces, and so that's in a trine to the Cancer moon. And Jupiter in Cancer is trining Saturn, and it's in a slightly wide trine to Neptune. And so this is the acceptance and understanding and spiritual discipline of really respecting and honoring our energy levels, and knowing that there is something bigger at play. Like, we are not just going to a job or looking for work just to pay the bills. We are creating something new for ourselves that we can be proud of, and know that the service that we're providing, or whatever it is that we are working toward, that we're building, is actually something that serves the community on a much higher level. Like, it is meant to heal us individually as well as collectively, whether it's art or cooking or feeding one another. And it could also be the understanding, healing, therapy. It could manifest in so many different ways. And Cancer doesn't just have to be domestic. It can be technical as well, like whether you are computerizing charts that have been traditionally in paper form. So just thinking outside of the box as well. And this is also in a sextile to Uranus in Taurus retrograde. We could be reinventing environmental tools and ideas and concepts. Over the next couple of days, Venus, the Sun, and Mars will be making a triple conjunction. And so when these planets come into an exact conjunction with the Sun, it's kind of like a reset. And so this is a reset for our goals and ambitions with Mars there, our relationships and our values and our finances with Venus there. And then with Mercury will come into a conjunction with the Sun later in the month when they enter Aquarius. So they will be Cazimi in the sign of Aquarius at 1 degree, which is interesting. So that can be a reset of the way we think about how we share information. And with this conjunction in Aquarius at 1 degree, this will be making conjunction to Pluto in Aquarius as well, which is at 2 degrees, and in a trine to Sedna, which is at 0 degrees Gemini. So if you have any planets or placements in the beginning degrees of Libra, this will be a nice free-flowing circuit of mental energy where you're able to really bring in some mind-blowing inventions that set you free from any sort of past karmic entanglements or limitations from especially the patriarchal paradigms. So I don't want to get too far ahead. That's going to be around the 21st of January. This full moon, I feel like, is definitely in preparation for us to step into a whole new world when Saturn and Neptune enter Aries. And the last time this happened, when they became conjunct at 0 degrees, was, according to Heather Ensworth, over 6,000 years ago. So this is not just some small conjunction in the sign of Aries. Zero Aries is a reset point and considered to be the bloom zone by Kathy Rose. And so we are all collectively blooming with these energies moving into 0 Aries. And with this 0 Aries conjunction, there are important and loud conversations that will be made when Uranus re-enters Gemini and with Pluto in Aquarius. And so these are going to be some collectively mind-blowing, conscious, renewing reset. This is a reset for a collective consciousness that universe has been monitoring for some time now. That's kind of the impression that I get. And it's kind of this divine intervention. And 3i Atlas, I feel like, is a part of this configuration. During the winter solstice, 3i Atlas came closest to Earth and infused our consciousness with upgrades that I feel like we are gradually going to see come to the surface. And I think that's also part of why a lot of us have been so exhausted. So this is a collective blooming for all of us, when not just when Saturn and Neptune move into Aries, but also with the support of Uranus moving into Gemini, which will happen around April 25th, I believe, of 2026. And we'll be making a supportive, harmonious trine to Pluto in Aquarius. And so it'll create this long-standing talent triangle with Saturn and Neptune at the 0 Aries point. So it's like this new beginning that's supported by these sudden, with Uranus and Gemini, sudden downloads, like these changes in long-standing mindsets, like scarcity mindset. And with the trine to Pluto, it's going to be very karmic. Like there's these deep-rooted beliefs that we've been programmed to adopt and just accept as a collective. But this new beginning that's happening at 0 Aries with Saturn and Neptune, this is the energy of, so many analogies for this conjunction. I consider it like mastering the mystery, where we're envisioning this dream that we've always had and really bringing it to fruition and giving it more structure, discernment, and spiritual awareness, and knowing that there is a collective cohesion where this new beginning that we are embarking on involves the service to the collective. Neptune is the ruler, the modern ruler of Pisces, and it has everything to do with unified consciousness. And with Saturn and Neptune together in the sign of Aries, this is that discipline to honor that bigger picture, that objective of why we are here, why we exist amongst one another. And so we have these supporting planets of Uranus, with Uranus in the sign of Gemini, that can involve the dismantling of old educational systems, like the old syllabuses, the old teachings of programming, just to keep us regurgitating whatever it is that we have been taught. And so breaking that down, dismantling that, and then rebuilding as like all these other planets move through the zodiac, it's going to support us in rebuilding new formats of learning where they are in alignment with the Earth's guidelines, with nature's laws, and have a lot longer sustainability over the next 6,000 plus years, when possibly Saturn and Neptune conjunct again in the sign of Aries. Who knows? But for now, as far as the full moon in Cancer, this is kind of the culmination, which full moons are culminating energies of emotion, where we're invited to sit in the emotion and access those parts of ourselves that we may not have received growing up. But now is a different time. We are being presented with several different, seemingly different, but also the same scenarios where we can offer our caring side to one another. It can feel uncomfortable because we're not used to that, but this is going to come up again over the next year, especially with the Mercury retrogrades happening in water signs. Like the water signs are going to have us going inward and accessing those emotional parts of us that we may not be the most comfortable with, we might not have the most experience with as far as when, as we grow up. But that's the challenge that we have for this year. Like, we are fully moving into these new energies that are breaking down and dismantling these old paradigms of emotional detachment. And with the South Node in Leo coming up next summer and the North Node in Aquarius, we're going to be letting go of those shadow sides of Leo, where there can be that spiritual bypassing where everything is love and light, and everything is just such a good time and parties and celebration. Like, those will be coming to the surface for us to transmute and realize that we have a bigger purpose, and facing the shadows of our relationships and obligations are going to help us in the long run. And it may sound easier said than done, but it's definitely something that we are alive and present for. And if we are here existing, then we have the capacity to meet those challenges. So until February 17th, we will still be in the snake year, so still shedding those old identities so that we can make room for the fire horse year, which is going to catapult us into new ways of being. So that's going to be something to definitely embrace. Right now, with all of these energies coming to the final moments before really pushing through, I feel like this is like the last contraction of this rebirth for humanity. This is the universe really supporting us and really taking care of this process of rebirth. We have this full moon in Cancer, which I consider to be catharsis-induced strategies. Kind of like that similar energy of the anaretic 29 degree. Like, we are pushing all of these energies to the surface so that they can be transmuted. And I did pull some tarot cards for this full moon, and the Three of Wands is definitely part of this full moon, with all of the Capricorn planets opposing the full moon. This is like, this person is seeing their ships come in, understanding that there is a scarcity mentality that is in the process of dismantling, and awaiting the incoming help from universe of support that universe is sending. And then the Three of Cups came out together with the Three of Wands, which I feel like is that support and celebration that universe is sending. So collaborating and connecting with those like-hearted, connecting with those fellow like-hearted souls who see and understand your vision and all connect with similar goals in mind. And then at the bottom of the deck was the Queen of Cups, intuitively welcoming and magnetizing healing alchemy for herself and others. So she's sitting on her throne at the foot of the ocean. And this is the ability to really hold the emotion, which can possibly feel like deep shadow work, but it is through the reflection of others where we are able to heal them as well as ourselves. But it does require vulnerability, and I think it's pretty synchronistic that Chiron went direct today. So that's like a revealing of vulnerabilities where you're able to share without shame, and that opens up a whole world of possibilities where you can heal one another with who you're sharing with. Just being candid and spontaneously supportive can delightfully surprise you. So it's something that we are encouraged to do throughout our lifetime, really. I think that's all I wanted to mention. But yeah, the full moon is conjunct Sirius, the dog star. This is definitely an energy that we want to feel into and pay attention to the signs around us, whether it's, animals, dreams, messages that align with whatever we are thinking, whatever we are feeling. Maybe if we're writing, we can find some sort of synchronicity that pops up in some sort of magical way. So pay attention, stay open. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully that made sense. And of course, as always, stay centered, stay grounded, stay hydrated, and we can turn this atmospheric river into making it rain for real. Thanks for sticking around, and hope to see you on the next one. Ciao. The sun is in Capricorn, the moon is in Cancer, and it is pouring down rain, which tracks with the Cancer moon since it is a water sign. So hopefully you are feeling nice and cozy and at peace wherever you are. And I don't know about you, but the Jupiter in Cancer energy opposing the Capricorn energies is definitely having me self-soothe with the impulse to snack and eat and just comfort myself with carb-loaded snacks. So definitely, if you're feeling that way, it is in the air. But one way to counteract that, if you've eaten too many carbs, is to eat more salads, squeeze some lemon on it, and some shaved Parmesan. So just loading up, balancing it out with some roughage, some fiber. Chia seeds is also another good source of fiber.